Not to say that this one isn't, but both of these teams are pretty far down in the standings. Signify is they're pretty screwed. They're gonna still have they're gonna have 1 point in this game. They could get to 2. We'll see if that's gonna be the case, but it means that they're probably not gonna be the top seed going into the LAN finals. So they'll try something different here. They have the Omni Knight Terrorblade. I like having the Shadow Demon along with it. I'm okay with this draft, although I don't know how I feel about Terrorblade anymore because they nerfed him a lot recently. Well,
Yeah.
semi-recently.
Axe pretty darn good against Terrorblade as well. Like, it's nice in theory to have Omnit with Terrorblade, but that's not going to help him during the lane phase where this combo is extremely dangerous.
Yeah. Like, he's super paper thin for Terrorblade. And I know he has good armor, but he still gets run down by Axe anyways later into the game and gets called, and then he has a Blade Mail, and the Terrorblade kills himself. If Terrorblade has meta and an illusion, and Axe has Blade Mail, there is a very good chance you just die as the Terrorblade very quickly.
Yep. I'm really worried for Signify's lineup. Like, look at their heroes. Shadow Demon, Slaughter, Omni Knight. None of these heroes do anything on their own.
Yeah, it's
like,
true.
Slaughter is going to rely on that Blink Dagger with additional follow-up. Like, they have the Heal Bomb into, like, Terrorblade damage, but that's not exactly a ganking squad. You know? And then you look at Alpha Red, you have Axe Skywrath Mage who can kill any hero on the map, and then you have a ton of follow-up damage from Gyrocopter coming in, and then Ruby can also perform that the setup role. It just looks like not a very complete lineup from Signify. You have too many defensive heroes. Omni Knight and Shadow Demon serve the exact same purpose, while Omni Knight, of course, is played in the offlane role, and he's a strong laner, which is good, but you're definitely lacking something in the team fight department at the moment.
I would almost prefer if they did the Shadow Demon core in the offlane, because I love seeing somebody get to 5 Shadow Poison stacks and they just get blown up. It's so funny to watch. And it's really cool, actually. I like that hero in the core role, but it's played now in a support role, which I haven't seen that much. And they also pick up the Wind Ranger, and that's going to be, I think, a mid Wind Ranger, which is really interesting considering the hero has been played a lot in the support role. And we'll see who he's against for Alpha Red. There is no tanker, luckily, so neither of the teams can pick it up, but very interesting picks for Signify.
Interesting indeed. I'm always curious to see how well this hero performs because, you know, pubs are different from competitive games, right? Wind Ranger might dominate pubs, but in professional Dota, it's a bit different.
Yeah. Is Wind Ranger dominating pubs? Is that what's happening?
Well, I wouldn't say dominating, but very strong.
Okay.
And very annoying to play against.
Well, is she being played in the mid role in pubs, or?
She's played in all the roles,
okay.
But there's a lot of mid Wind Ranger for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of, well, mid Wind Ranger. I'm trying to think of the people that actually play it, but really the only person I can think of playing mid Wind Ranger in pro games, especially, is Weehaw. He's like the only one I think that doesn't currently. But anyway, that's not important. What is important is the next pick. 20 seconds left for Alpha Red, and they need something for Fearless, who had a heck of a Storm Spirit game last game.
No Morphling. Okay.
Is this a mid gyro then?
This is a mid gyro.
Okay.
So the Morphling interaction against Omni Knight, you can morph into the Omni and then repel yourself. Or you can wave in, turn into Omni, heal, then repel yourself.
Yeah, it's pretty strong. We've seen it a few times. Also, morph target allies get Flat Cannon.
Oh boy.
Enjoy.
That's true. That's true. They pick up the gyro so they can give Morphling the fly. That's such a dumb interact. God.
It is stupid, isn't it?
Like, when gyro flax, he's hitting for like 150 damage a hit.
Yeah.
When Morphling flax, it's like 250 damage a hit.
You actually sounded really frustrated about that, which I don't hear from you very often. It sounds like you've been jilted by a Morphling Gyrocopter combination pretty recently.
When you look at the interaction, it's insane. No other carry hero can do that. You know, he takes the carry hero whose whole thing is this, you know, big flat cannon ability. He even has the talent for it, and it's just straight up worse than the guy who he steals it from, or the guy who steals it. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's pretty silly actually, but it makes the hero interesting for Morphling, which he used to just be stupid. He used to just say, "I've got a lot of damage and very little life, but I can always morph." Oh, guess what? I have used my ultimate ability to go across the map in a second. So, see ya. I'm going to keep doing that for the rest of the game. Good luck catching me. So stupid. So at least the hero is more interesting now. But
more interesting, and I would say even better.
Yes.
But he's a lot higher skilled now.
Boombell is mega dead, by the way.
That's the first one.
Oh, maybe not, actually.
Body blocks?
That was a very good... It was a good attempt at the lift, but it's not enough.
Okay, so first blood for the mid Wind Ranger.
Yes, that's really big. Swifty mid Wind Ranger now has a little experience, but more importantly, some extra gold to work with. He will be up against the mid Gyrocopter, as previously mentioned, for Fearless, who has the Wraith Band. The mid Gyrocopter most recently been played in professional by no one for Virtus Pro in the third game of that series.
Yep, he's the big one.
That was a 20-minute win for them when he did play it, but he plays it a lot too. Speaking of no one, just one of the best players, I think, in the mid lane, probably ever, with how many majors he's won recently. Just an insane player.
It was fantastic. So these lanes are getting switched up a bit from Alpha Red because of that first blood. They saw that and they assumed that they were going to go for an aggro lane, but Signify, they're following this Morphling. Starter Shadow Demon heading down towards the bottom lane.
Did they see them? I'm not sure. That ward is not deep enough to actually spot... Well, Skyworth will know here in a moment. And Skyworth needs to run, actually. He sees no chance in Mr. Crowl running. And he's getting body blocked pretty heavily by Blizzard. But I don't know if they can actually do anything about this. Linux is going to... Yeah,
he's gone.
Blizzard just... They wasted a lot of time. I know, like, they probably weren't going to get bottom anyway, but that's a lot of time wasted for Blizzard not getting CS and taking damage even against the Arcane Bolt. This is so weird. Maybe they turn this into a try versus try, which is actually not that bad for Alpha Red. Nope.
Disruption.
Linux is pretty squishy. Doesn't have a Fairy Fire or Salve, but he's fine. The Illusion's doing some work, but he will be able to survive. So this all gives my pro a lot of room top with 7 last hits. I like having a 1v1 in the solo safe lane for X because you can just cut the tower. Although against Omni Knights, it's not as easy as like against an Underlord. I did this a few times against an Underlord where I was in the top lane as Zax. You just go behind the tier 1 and you cut the wave.
It's much easier to cut when you're playing from the off lane, just because it's safer.
Yes.
But
that's the thing. They could just TP up there. If you have vision, you could do it a lot easier, but they're going to just rotate.
Okay, so they TP out, Morph up against the Omni Knight. Morphling has a ton of damage, so you can actually just keep on clicking the Omni. And,
yeah, but they should TP to follow him, right? I mean, they ran down there, so it's not like they can't follow Dogbrain. I wonder, they ran, it looks like they TP top for the 2 supports. They're going to keep the Terrorblade. Nope, there he goes. Now he's TPing. And now you are forced to sit in this lane as Dogbrain, so he does get a little bit more farming experience, but this will be a good trade in the long run for Signify, it looks like.
Yeah, it's a really difficult lane for them to actually kill Morphling, though, because it's a disruption into the crush. You know, you can easily lift him.
He's always going to get his attribute shift off, probably. If he sees the Shadow Demon coming, he should be able to get off his attribute shift. But if they can set it up nicely. Or they could just go for somebody else entirely, like Lion X, but that's just a disruption. The Arcane Bolt spam starting to really stack up onto this Mr. Crowl Shadow Demon. Signify desperately trying to find a win to stay involved in the group stages now. They are pretty far down with only 1 point. But we haven't really talked about mid, which is pretty even, actually. 13 last hits for both of them, which is kind of interesting. But with Homing Missile leveled up, this probably gets a little more tricky for the Wind Ranger, I guess. I don't know.
I think just a farm matchup pretty much forever. Until one of these guys get a gank. Either the gank on level 6 Wind Ranger or just some lift when Wind Ranger uses her Wind Run ability into the Rocket Barrage, of course. But yeah, just a farm lane.
And then, of course, it's the Omni-Axe, excuse me, combo, and he's going to cut the wave.
That's right.
I love cutting the wave on Axe. You just get it's free farm essentially. You just don't ever miss a CS. You can't do anything
it's
about
free farming more because you're farming the jungle too.
And you're pushing the wave on the tower, and you're also harassing the Omni Knight too. And boy, is he farming the jungle, man.
So let's talk about this try on try. Like, Signify did not want their Terrorblade in the safe lane. They wanted to lane up against this Morphling, but they don't really deny him farm that much if the other supports are here. Like, this is not a very scary duel with Shadow Demon and Slaughter. Like, Skywrath Mage is here with full mana, and look at how much mana he has. He even brings Morphling his items, so Morphling has the Ring of Aquila to work with the Magic Wand. And now Skywrath Mage, he's full mana. He's just going to sit here and nuke down the Terrorblade forever. He doesn't have that health regen that he once used to have.
He does have
if he gets pretty low,
charges.
that's true. They could whittle him down, keep on nuking him, and eventually pressure battle lane.
It feels like the whole point of like an aggro tri-lane is to shut down the enemy carry and get kills. They're doing neither of that. You know, like he's still getting farm. They're not finding kills. Blizzard's the one getting harassed.
Morphling even holds it out in front of the tower, so this wave is just going to be stuck back here forever.
And in the meantime, the Axe is getting plenty of CS. They will use the... Okay, that's a meta down and a Terrorblade down, and this is now becoming a disaster for Signify. They're going to get 2 kills. Dogbrain gets a double kill on Morphling with already 21 CS, along with the double kill that he's just provided himself with. So that's not what you want to do in an aggressive tri lane. A bit unfortunate for Signify, but a lot of farm for Alpha Red.
Yep, that was the Metamorphosis committed too, so where does Terrorblade go after this? Does he go back top?
He is
down bottom,
rotated bottom. And the
he's
Axe
level
will
3.
probably rotate now. Axe has his Vanguard done at 5 minutes in.
Axe is going to stay here, I'm pretty sure. He's got a Vanguard, he's level 6, the Terrorblade's level 3, so he can just keep on running at him.
That's
over
true.
and over.
Yeah, if he gets like a call off, especially on a Blizzard, he just dies, right? There's nothing he can do.
Yep.
Man, that's
Even
actually
with meta,
super frightening.
they actually can't push this Axe out of lane.
Yeah,
Axe
there's
can
no
just sit
way.
here.
It's level 1 meta plus Axe as a Vanguard. They don't do any damage between their supports, really. I mean, maybe with Soul Catcher. Maybe they can find a kill, but they do need meta, and he doesn't have it for 92. I don't think they can do anything until they have meta, and they're going to notice that pretty quickly. They're going to like, okay, this guy's a Vanguard. What do we do? Well, they're going to miss the crush, and now my Mr. Krell is dead, I believe.
Boy.
That's a level 6. He doesn't even need the chop. This is an awful start. I know it's only a 1k lead. Now they've rotated this Skywrath Mage. Luckily, there's a sprint for no chance, which means he'll probably survive. Luckily, and no boots on my pro either, but now he has no sprint. Good crush. They want to chop. Not quite in range, I think. Oh, there it is. Okay. Almost getting the call off onto Blizzard. Look at him. Look at him.
He's a madman.
He is a madman. He's going to get another kill. Dead. Double kill. It should be a triple. He's going to go on no chance. Like, don't come back down here. What are you doing? It's a level 7 Axe. You're a level 2 Slaughter. What do you think's going to happen? Well, I guess he's pretty low HP. He needs to be a little careful. All right, he might actually feed stuff away here with the Soul Catcher. Or not. They have no catch, so he's fine. Okay. Great.
Yeah. Axe untouchable, right? Didn't even have boots, tanks a million tower shots, does not care.
Now
this
he does.
is every offlaner's dream.
Now he has boots. It's even more frightening down bottom. I guess the good news is the Omni Knight's level 7 to the Morphling's 5, so he can kind of put up with the Morphling, but not really. I mean, look at the net worth. The Wind Ranger is going to have to do some mega big lifting. I don't even know what that means, but, well, you understand. The Wind Ranger's going to have to do some work.
I speak American.
Mega big lifting. Jesus, what was I thinking?
That's what we do in America. Mega big lift all the time.
That's Carlo in a nutshell.
Yep.
Mr. Krell is, I believe, dead. Fade Bolts, Rocket Barrage, Disruption, and see ya. They want to get no chance. Telekinesis, Power Shot. Actually, Fearless is the one that's dead. Or not? Yes, he is. Buyback in the Shadow Demon just so he could use the poison. That's hilarious. Okay, this actually turned out pretty well. Lionax is dead too to Swifty. That TP took forever. I don't know why it took so long. That's a double kill for Swifty. That's the mega big lifting they were looking for right there.
That's a snipe, and he almost has his first javelin. Once you get to that first javelin is when you can pretty much solo kill heroes with focus fire, just running them down forever. So
I think that was a little too greedy from Alpha Red. They should have just focused the Shadow Demon and then backed up, maybe. Instead, they kept him alive for a little too long. I don't know. That was just a really good fight from them. Really good power shot from the Wind Ranger to snipe a couple of kills. And they will lose their tier 1 bottom, but this was like a 3k lead. Now it's 1k. So they've stopped the bleeding a little bit. The Omni's still getting farm top. The Gyro dying is pretty significant. Okay.
yeah, the Gyro is the big awkward hero on the side of Alpha Red now, right? His net worth, it's not terribly low, but you can't really stay in front of this Wind Ranger when she has a javelin. It's very difficult. But on the other side, it's also that Signify can't do anything to Axe. Axe is level 9 with the Vanguard, about to pick up a Blink Dagger pretty soon. Yep. Up top, well, Dogbrain has no mana.
He does not. He has stick charges. They need a lift. They need a call, but it's a good disruption. He has to wait from him away. They might keep him alive. Oh my god, he literally just dodged that. My pro actually needs to back up, or otherwise he's going to give a lot of gold away. Or they're going to pull back the Omni into the tower. So they don't get a huge kill, and it's a lot of heroes rotated to try to get that commitment, to try to get that kill, and it's more room for the Gyrocopter to pick up his next few items. So The Morphling surviving there is pretty rough.
Yep, they thought they could actually make that happen, and now Axe, Blink Dagger, super close, right? And they have a lot of damage. There's a lot of follow-up. There is some save on Signify, but that means they need to sit there and hug each other the entire time.
Fearless getting run up by Swifty and Signify, but won't be able to find the kill. And I think we talked about this yesterday or someday, but Axe actually, against Wind Ranger, especially with Blade Mail, like, even if she doesn't focus fire him, she could still die pretty quickly because she's super thin, right?
Yeah. The Blade Mail, or the Call is just a nice way to lock down Wind Runner because there's no item she can build against it, right? Usually you think, oh, Wind Ranger, she has the Wind Run ability, so she's actually very slippery and difficult to take down, but not with the disables that they have on Alpha Red. Rubik Lift, Silence from Skywrath Mage, does a lot.
She is building Force Staff, and that is like, if she doesn't get called, she can force somebody out of a Mystic Flare, but it depends on who actually gets called. And Lioness
yeah,
the Veil, so.
But very interesting to see how much they're prioritizing having a Force Staff against this Berserker's Call Mystic Flare combination. So I think it's very good. It's a nice adaptation for sure.
It's also just a good item against Gyro and even Morphling to a certain extent. Just trying to kite them. Dog Rain will steal, or rather morph into the Omni Knight and get 2 CS with it. Nice. So Axe should have the blink now, right? I think he's just farming still anyway. No, he doesn't. Yep, he has it in his stash. Okay. He needs to go back and regen, though, and then they can maybe smoke with it. I would be very surprised if they didn't go for a smoke play here once my pro gets this blink and heals up. They have one on the Rubik, too.
Yep,
wow.
It is.
That was way earlier than I thought it was going to be. There's no shrine.
He's not in healthy shape.
Yes, that's fine. He is regenning pretty quickly with the Enchanted Mango. And, wow, why is he regenning so fast?
That's health regen. That's strength.
Strength, right. Yeah, strength, of course.
Yep.
That's so dumb. He doesn't even have Tranquils. That's so stupid. They're going to TP. They see the Negi Omni Knight. They see the no chance Slardar. They want the tower. They TP to the shrine. They did use the scan successfully. Mr. Crow. And there's the blink. That is does nothing. Well, he still might be dead anyway, actually. Mystic Flare I don't think was needed. I don't... they could have saved a call. They could have saved a Mystic Flare. They didn't need to use those abilities on that hero. But it's a nice kill. It's a nice reveal. It's better than nothing.
Yep, bit of overkill. Honestly, Alpha Red, I think they heavily overreacted to this pressure in the top lane. Like, this tower is probably the least important tower in the entire game for Alpha Red. Like, they still have so much of the map they can farm. And by doing that, that's like a 5-man rotation where they lose out on all this pressure. You have Omni Knight pushing out the bottom lane pretty safely. Terrorblade just hitting the jungle. Terrorblade doesn't want to make that rotation. He's got Treads Aquila and 800 HP. You know, if he comes up there and dies again, his game is completely ruined.
Yes. It's curious that you say that it's the least important tower for Alpha Red. I've always heard that the safe lane tower gives you extra access to the jungle. I know mid's probably the most important tower for Alpha Red, but I don't know. Do you really feel that way about the safe lane tower?
Yeah, I think in general, safe lane tower is the least important. And mid tower is the most important to protect, and off lane is the most important to take.
Well, they will find the kill. Oh, man. That's pretty brutal. Not only do they lose the Morphling, Swifty's probably going to live, too. Focus Fire comes out. Shackle Shot. Still very tanky. Is the Javelin up? No. My bro's dead anyway, it looks like. Couldn't get the chop down. Double kill for Swifty. They're going to find maybe a triple if he can get a Power Shot or something.
That's the amp damage with the Focus Fire. There's the Power Shot.
Oh, what a dodge. Misses. What a dodge. It was 360 HP anyway. It was going to be close. It would have been enough, actually. Just barely. So that's 2 really big kills, and that, 4K lead is, again, back down to 1K because they try going aggressively into the Shadow Demon, who has a really good disruption save, and it doesn't work out. Plus, they lose the Morphling right at the beginning of the fight, so that's pretty brutal for him. And now, of course, the Terrorblade continues to farm the jungle and tries to get up to his first big item, which, of course, is going to be the Manta Style. Well, all right, then.
Alrighty. Alright, we're going back for the Maelstrom. Has the Javelin now, so she'll have a ton of damage. Pretty crazy that with Focus Fire and Amp, they could kill Axe. That's the big key, right? The Amp, because Axe has a Vanguard. It blocks 70 damage.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. That's why this combination of heroes is so strong. We just saw it, essentially. The amp damage, the corrosive haze coming out. Negi has been spotted. This is the target they're going to go for. The unfortunate thing is I think they know that they're coming. They walked on top of a ward, so he's going to go for a TP. They're not going to get there in time, sadly. He's gone, and now they're going to realize that as the scan shows green. So they'll probably know there's a ward somewhere in the Radiant jungle, I would assume. And
yep, both teams with pretty much the exact same observer ward.
Oh, and they're going to find this one, too. Oh. Hello? Swifty?
Hello?
Are they going to give this to somebody else? I sure hope so.
I think they're trying to bait this.
Okay.
They're hoping that they use this ward to jump with Omninet behind them so we can repel off the Mystic Flare damage, and they can take a team fight on their terms, but it didn't happen.
They do have like good counter initiation with the especially if the blink out Slaughter, which they're kind of getting close to, but yeah, they would have liked to take a fight there. They don't. Oh, they have to back up for Dire for Alpha Red. So Fearless also, we talked about the Terrorblade getting back and farmed, but now he's dead actually. Maybe. Probably. Definitely.
So many teams coming out mid.
Missed the call. They will kill no chance. That Ancient Seal Fade Bolt destroyed him on the Slaughter. But
yes, it did.
It's a 1-for-1 trade, not the end of the world for Alpha Red. They do lose the Gyrocopter. They get some more space for Dogbrain, who is trying desperately to get to his Lincoln Sphere. They get off a call onto the Omni. This is not an easy kill. And he just TPs. And Dogbrain, I think, is dead top if he's not careful. The Soul Catcher especially. Good Shackle. Power Shot. He's actually pretty tanky. I'm surprised that didn't do more damage. He was sitting at 1200 HP. And he just, like, was fine.
Yeah, Power Shot does almost no damage when it actually goes through his units. That's how it's been changed. Right. And, yep, with no Focus Fire and no Corrosive Haze, no chance of killing the Morphling there. You know, Terrorblade just using the Metamorphosis to farm jungle, because that's where he's at this game. He knows he just needs to farm safely on the map, and this speeds it up. But they had an Observer Ward on the cliff, so they know there's no meta. Yeah,
if they want to take a fight, this is maybe one of the best times to do it. I am surprised that the game has gone this well for Signify, considering how much farm the Axe had, considering how brutal that top lane was and bottom. Like,
yeah, they made a swift recovery back in the game. And I'm telling you, it's that TP, it's that 5-man rotation from Alpha Red trying to defend their safe lane. They commit 5 heroes there, and they find a Shadow
Demon, yeah, which they just found again. Which doesn't really matter. You're absolutely right, I think. They could have just let the Morphling do his own thing and found kills elsewhere, wrapped around, maybe even some like warded up the jungle. Would have even been probably a better thing to do, but they didn't do it.
Yep. When you commit so heavily and you're reacting to the enemy pressure, that's time where all your heroes have to group up. You're not hitting any creeps, and you're hoping you can get all these kills. And when you only catch a hero like Shadow Demon, you lose out on so much map control and so much net worth.
Yeah. And the Omni gets more farm because of it. The Terrorblade gets more farm. The Omni has his pipe now. Slaughter has his blink in about 2 camps. And if they want to make something happen, they certainly can. They're looking at a Blade Mail for MyPro. He's actually almost done with it. Maybe that's go time. I don't know. It feels like they've just found, you know, they've only really pushed into the enemy jungle once and not very deeply. I don't know. I guess they could wait. I know the Morphling can get big in this game and start doing some work, but they should be doing more, I feel like, from Alpha Red.
Yeah, the game has slowed down a lot. They felt like they had a lot of, they felt like they had a big advantage, which they did, but they lost a bit of momentum. And now they're just working on farming their key items. Gyrocopter almost at the BKB, Blade Mill and 20 gold, and Morphling just got his Lincoln, so they're hitting their item timings. They're getting stronger.
Yeah, that's, you know, even with the great start that they had, that's another thing that you can just rely on their late game. They have really good late game. Flat can declare the illusions of the Terrorblade. They can call them. They can kill them that way. They should smoke up. They did, okay? They had a DD on the Gyrocopter. They're running top for some reason. I think they could have gone bottom, yeah. The line is being drawn by Swifty, so it seems like they know that they did smoke, but they're not expecting no chance to be going on. The Terrorblade, if they have a ward, they could drop it and get the kill, and they're going to find him, but I think it's a little too late. They popped the drum charge, the concussive shot. They need the disruption, and they're not going to find it. He wasn't there in time, or the Omni Knight would have been fine, but the TP took too long. They'll try to turn it, but I think this is a little dangerous to fight into if you're the Radiant. Although,
There's the call.
That is a call down coming in. They've got the repel into Swifty, the flat cannon from Fearless. He's taking a lot of damage. They've popped the GA. They need to back up, actually, as Fearless is getting focus fired down to death. And Wind Ranger showing just how strong she is currently. They need to run. Power shot coming out to MyPro. The axe will probably die to the Soul Catcher along with a couple of auto attacks as well. The Shadow Poison might be enough. He'll try to deny himself. Not going to happen. It's just the Hellbear, not even the Hellbear Smasher. They're going to find 3, almost 4. Lionx got into the trees and was able to TP out, but they still got the Terrorblade. But man, that turned around pretty quickly. This Wind Ranger did a lot of damage. 3,600 damage in that fight, Brax.
Yep, they're just in so deep, right next to the shrine too, so they can easily get back. That's that's a 4v5. That's a free kill on the Terrorblade, but Guardian Angel coming out showing how strong it is in these team fights. It's very weird. Right, that's Gyrocopter as BKB. Maybe it goes a bit better. Pretty close, but not quite at that end yet. Honestly, they just need to keep on farming. Let Morphling get to that E-Blade so you can just play a split game and just burst whoever Axe jumps on. Because what's going to happen until then is Axe is going to jump one person, Signify is going to save them with either Disruption or Repel, and then they've used too much on one hero, right? If they drop the Mystic Flare on top of that, they need more, and that E-Blade is going to give them the tools to just play around that a bit more.
I was thinking the exact same thing that you just said. I thought they get that one kill onto the Terrorblade, but they have no way of dealing with the Wind Ranger once that happens. She just is fine because of all the save mechanics and all the other stuff. The BKB could be good, I don't know, but yeah, they definitely just need more items. Mr. Crowl is going to die. He almost that actually wasn't the best Mystic Flare, but it worked out for them.
Yep. Only a 60-second cooldown, so no big deal, right? Nice quick kill.
And I like the play from Signify, though. They just go top immediately, realizing that mid's going to get pushed up. A tier 2, much more valuable than a tier 1, and they might even find Dogbrain 4th. The Lincoln Sphere, this should be a dead Morph. Oh, he actually got the attribute shift off. It's going to be close. No, it's not. And they blow him up with the amplified damage and the focus fire. My God. So ridiculous.
Didn't get the amp on until the end because of the Lincoln Sphere, but the Maelstrom with the focus fire, that's so much damage to tank through.
And the good news is Blizzard was also involved in that fight, so that's more free gold. Man, that is a sick combination. Yep. And that was him attribute shifting to full strength essentially, and that was with like them diving the tower. That's pretty unbelievable. They were able to kill him that quickly.
Yeah, I thought for sure he'd be able to get his morph up at the end, morph into Slaughter, crush, and then sprint out, but he died. He died so fast with the strength morph. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that this Morphling needs to be very careful in these next few fights. Really just throughout the game in general. He's picked up his Ghost Scepter. The Ethereal Blade is still ways away. Boombell getting run up by no chance, but they have stolen the Corrosive Haze of their own, so now they have some extra physical damage they can work with, some extra armor.
Okay. Something cool that Alpha Red can do now is they can actually smoke and do Roshan. Morphling tons of physical damage. Yeah. They have the Corrosive Haze Storm. It would be very unexpected.
But it looks like they're trying to set up for a defense down here, which I think is kind of a mistake. They could easily just run to Roche right now and probably do it while they take this tier 1 tower, and I think it's a fine
They
trade.
don't want to fight this lineup from Signify head-on 5v5 because whoever they go on is just going to get saved. They want to play the map. They want to get to that E-Blade and BKB on Gyrocopter, which, okay, finished it, so maybe that's why they want to fight this.
Yeah, they still have really decent vision for the Radiant, plus they're smoking. They might just find the Morphling again. If they do, they have to just back up. But he waveforms to the mid lane. And there is a ward, but they don't see Mr. Crowl yet. He's going to de-ward this ward on the high ground, it looks like. Oh, or they're just going to kill the Rubik, who's already super low in HP. Call finds the Wind Ranger, but there's an Omni Knight and a Disruption still available. MyPro is almost certainly dead. They will find at least no chance. But GA has been used, Meta has been used, Boombell's super low. I don't know about that, Dogbrain. That's a little aggressive. They buy back onto the Slaughter. He'll have to TP in, and he's pretty far, actually. Boombell, you have like 200 HP. What are you doing? Just back up.
It's dangerous.
They have wards everywhere. Stop. The fight's over. Okay. They did back up. They could have lost a lot more than that. All right, they lost more.
Wowzers. The snipe. Swifty's having one heck of a game on.
Yeah, he really is. You know, Tigger is the hero that he loves playing. He's already played it like 4 times in this tournament, but my God, if they could get a Slaughter, they should pick this hero way more often because he looks good on it. And mostly because they're setting up the kills. They have different abilities. I don't know about this TP. That's just an illusion. Okay, well, not the end of the world. They're going to try to fight around the ward, or maybe they just back up. It looks like they will back up, but They defend the tier 2 at least. Dogbrain gets some more room to work with. He finds a double damage. Go Roche. Or something. I don't know. Do anything. They need a couple sentries. Alright, they're really not going to sentry the super cliff. That's pretty sad. Well, I guess good news is Rubik almost has Blink Dagger, so there's that.
Yeah, that is good news.
And Ethereal Blade for Dogbrain is getting closer and closer. Feels like he needs a lot more than just that item, though. That and Lincoln Sphere even. It feels like it's not enough this game against these heroes. Fearless is dead. Oh my god. They didn't even need to use Focus Fire.
Alright, Terrorblade Mont, what happened to this man? He's been farming the entire game. He's 1, 3, and 2 with a million CS. He's just been farming his way back into this game. Like, he had the space to just keep on hitting creeps and farming because Alpha Red, they weren't able to keep up the momentum.
It is unbelievable to me that they had that much space for the Morphling, or the Terrorblade. I say Morphling because he's dead, it looks like. He stole Repel, and then he didn't have Waveform or something? I don't...
He morphed it. He went full agility mod. He morphed the wrong way.
Oh, no. I was wondering why I was like, he shouldn't be dying that quickly.
And, you know, usually green beams go and it's a good thing, but not when you're playing Morphling. You can be ganked.
It could be worse. He could be getting Sunstrike in as well every time he respawned because he accidentally morphed agility instead of strength.
That's true. Thank God that's not happening.
No. Of course, that
That'd
was
be
a Rubik,
hilarious
but
to see in a pro.
that would be the funniest thing ever. Watch how fast this Roche dies, by the way. They found the call, but it doesn't matter. Swifty just gets repelled instantly. They're still doing Roche, by the way. They don't have Morphling, so essentially they're fighting 4 versus 5. My pro is dead, it looks like. Maybe not. GA does come out. They use the Mystic Flare just to zone out the Wind Ranger. Roche will die. Blizzard has an Aegis. You know, they just need it back. They missed the Crush. Fearless is able to get out. Doesn't have to use his BKB.
Maybe
Swifty is going to go for a Shackle Shock. It won't. Oh, my God.
Close.
It actually almost lashed on my pro. Wow, that Sundering Power Shot almost killed 2 heroes, but they both survived somehow. They are just getting owned, honestly. Like,
yes,
they have nothing they can do against this Omni pick, and really the Shadow Demon pick have just owned them. And of course, Terrorblade getting room and Swifty having a sick game has just been pretty brutal.
Well, there's only one thing Signify's lineup can do, and that's group up and hit towers because, you know, Starter has Blink and Winninger has Blink, so they built some catch, but before then they didn't have any catch. And, yeah, I mean, if you go on these heroes, you're not going to kill them, ever. It's just not how the game's going to work until you have more items.
He needs like a 5-man call. I mean, he found the Disrupt, or the Shadow Demon. They should still have, no, they'd used GA actually already. Negi.
Yep, this is good.
But I don't think they can kill him. Like, he just TP's out. Oh, no, they call back up again. I didn't see the call cooldown. Okay, well, if they just lose the Shadow Demon there, that would be huge. But this is, like, the perfect opportunity for Alpha Red. There's no Omni Knight for 50 seconds. You got to do something. I know that's a Terrorblade Aegis, but, like, get something out of the map now. You got to get some extra gold going back your way.
Yep, Morph's about to pick up his E-Blade, so they'll have a small window where there's no GA and no meta, or maybe they can actually get a kill.
And they just have to defend top.
This is the item that makes things happen for Morphling. This is the whole identity of this hero, right? You're super difficult to take down because of the attribute shift and waveform, of course, but you can get in and out of these fights and just blow up a hero. Call up top with the Blade Mill.
They're going to find the kill on Swifty. That
1,300 gold.
Godlike spree for the Axe. He's literally just going to buy, especially if he gets this kill, he's just going to buy a freaking Shadow Blade right out. He does get bashed, but it's another pickup. And there it is, just like that. Getting a little too aggressive in the top lane for Signify. They could have just backed up, waited for their heroes to survive, and then gone again with Metamorphosis. Instead, they get caught split pushing against an Axe, and they feed, let's see, how much gold? 1,400, and they give a free Shadow Blade to the Axe. So maybe not the best choice, but not the end of the world.
Oh, boy. Oh, when you are, you're 9-0, Mont. You can't afford to die.
That's like
trying to go for a gank. It's so bad.
What are you? I know you want to get a kill or you want to push up top. And you want to try to force like people to rotate back to your tier 3, but that is so dangerous for the reasons you just mentioned. I mean, now this game gets a little trickier. You have to worry about the Invis Axe running around Shadow Blading and actually getting really good calls onto the heroes that he can actually deal with, like Omni and Shadow Demon. You know, it's the E-Blade is up for the Morphling, of course, which you mentioned. And of course, let us not forget, this is a gyrocopter game. The longer this game goes, the more likely he gets like Ag's Rapier and just wins them the game outright. I know it is against GA, but still. I don't. It's not the end of the world. They're already back up and alive at this point, and it's still Aegis, which I think they should have gave to Swifty, by the way, instead of the Terribly. Because if he uses mana and he dies, what happens? He's just back alive with no meta.
Right. They wanted to give it to their building hitter, in theory. Uh-oh. Alpha Red all gone?
Signify were having an issue, but now...
Do we have them muted? Do they call a good game?
No, I don't think so. That'd be funny. That would actually be hilarious. I don't have them muted, sadly.
Me neither.
That would be really funny, though. But they're all going to reconnect real quick. We've had 3 different team disconnects so far today. And this is our first series of the game, or day, by the way. Of course, the Execration versus Neon Atomic series will start right after this. And that is going to be one of the biggest series of the group stages. Both of those teams vying for the top spot. Of course, Neon Atomic is sitting at 6 points. Execration sitting at 4. Execration have played 1 less series. So a series win here could be huge. Of course, that's the next match, and it should be a really good one. And we get to see our good old friend Nando, who he's quite the player occasionally, you know?
I like how occasionally he is indeed quite the player. It depends which Nando shows up.
It's like, okay, what hero is he playing? All right, like there was the Slark game where I was just like, my God, that was a great Slark performance. Of course, is enabled by the rest of his team just owning. And then there was the Void game where I was like, you shouldn't TP in with 500 gold before your BKB into an entire team. Even if it did work out, that shouldn't happen. There's different Nandos depending on the day, and I'm excited.
Did you disconnect as well?
No. Can you hear me?
No, I meant from the game. I got an error.
You got an error? Oh, you disconnected?
Yeah, disconnected from the remote host.
Uh-oh. So you're out of the game currently, right? Or did you reconnect?
Yes, I'm. My Dota crashed as well when I tried to reconnect. So
well, I'll tell you what happens. Right now, it's 30 minutes into the game. They are slow sieging the tier 3 bottom for Signify, and finally rotating back into Alpha Red. They want to defend this building. They know there's an Aegis up on the Terrorblade who does pop the Metamorphosis. This tier 3 will fall very quickly. They veil the illusions just to clear them quickly, but already the damage has been done. The tier 3 has to be glyphed. It's sitting at 80. They will telekinesis Blizzard back, but he does get repelled, so they're going to find the tier 3 one way or the other, and that's a pretty good usage of the Aegis. And now they can either back up or continue on with the Metamorphosis Disruptor, or excuse me, Disruption from Shadow Demon is going to make some more illusions, so they can go to work in the racks now.
Yep, slow siege begins.
They'll pop the Crimson Guard, obviously very good, but still a lot of damage, especially with a real Terrorblade coming in. Ethereal Blade comes out, disarms him. They have to repel him. He does have a Sunder, needs to be careful. MyPro looking for a call. He does find it on Negi, but it's a very tanky here on the Omni Knight. Now MyPro is going to get sundered and killed. I don't know what their thought process was there. That was not the play. And this will probably be Rax even without the Metamorphosis. They have no buyback. Aegis is gone. Mystic Flare, maybe not. The Force away. Ethereal Blade, they will find the Shadow Demon. What else can they get? The Flat Cannon, the Call Down. They want this kill on the Terrorblade. He doesn't have his ultimate, but he is still GA'd. They need this kill. Goodness. Dogman needs a waveform or something. He's just going to run away. They can't get the Terrorblade. They will find no chance along with Negi. Swifty's going to get chased down. Dogbrain gets a double kill. And they cannot find Swifty. They're forced to go after Negi instead, who does have a TP scroll. They need a lift. They have one. Repel TP, they need a call. They don't have it. Axe isn't there. And that's all. They only got the supports, Brax. Oh, my.
Oh, boy. Well, at least they didn't lose their racks.
There's that, but he had like 100 HP. The GA is so annoying to deal with for Alpha Red, and I have no idea what they build in order to deal with it. I don't think they can, actually. They just have to fight around it.
Yeah, there's no purges, no way to deal with the GA at all. Sometimes you see nullifiers come out against that to assist there.
Yeah. If only Diffuser was still a real item. I mean, they would be able to buy it on the Morphling, I think, but it's sad.
It just doesn't do it anymore. It's so sad. Rest in peace, Diffusal Blade. You had your time in the limelight.
Omni Knight's been in the meta for like 3 months, probably even longer than that, because they changed Diffusal Blade, to be honest. Omni Knight needs to be hit with a nerf bat. Like, he needs to be clubbed so much so that nobody can recognize him after the nerfs come out. That's how long he's been in the meta. I know that's very, very aggressive.
A lot of hatred.
It's just dumb. It's just you hit your R button and you just win the fight. Great. Not only that, but you have. I feel like Repel is almost. It's like almost as good as GA. It's like another ultimate.
Yeah, it's BKB.
Like you have to buy a 4,000 gold item to have the same effect that Repel has. Like what? I don't know. I know that there are some downsides to Omni, and I'm just complaining for no reason. I'm sorry, everybody, but I got to get my hatred out of the way.
Well, it's a good thing to get it out now.
Anyway, Blink Dagger up for the Morphling instead of like a Scotty, which would keep him a little bit more survivable. I suppose Blink does the same thing in terms of allowing him to get out of the back lines, maybe finding that kill onto, you know, the Shadow Demon or even the Wind Ranger if they don't have Repel on her. Butterfly just about done for Fearless, and actually that'll be another big item for them. I think that, you know, Alpha Red are still in a really good spot, even against this huge Terrorblade, but it's all about starting the fights for me, you know, and trying to find the right initiation against Signify Brex.
Yep, that's what it's always about, right? Trying to find that perfect initiation, and with heroes like Wind Ranger, some crazy things can happen with a double Shackle Shot, for example.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Didn't there used to be an extra Shackle Shot talent? Like a third Shackle?
It's pretty funky.
It was really weird. They deleted that thing pretty quickly. My pro might just be dead. Nice Blink. And they guess incorrectly. Very smart play from my pro, but he's like a second away from dying there. Need to be a little bit more careful. Still, though, they're getting a little more room to work with. And actually, they have a 1k lead in spite of losing their tier 3 tower. And they're still, look at how many towers are up on the Radiant side. And they still have a slight advantage. That's kind of insane when you think about it.
That's all gold for them to collect later on because they are scaling very nicely with the game. Gyrocopter, Butterfly. The Blink Dagger on Morph is very nice, actually. Big fan of this. It's all about finding these heroes in the back lines that you can just blow up right away, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't hit the guy in front. They're going to get repelled or disrupted every time.
Yeah, the onus is on them to get the Axe and the Morphling in the back lines to get a fight or to get a kill, and then they can take a you know, odd man advantage to fight their way. 4 on 5. But we'll see. I mean, they're also building Ags on Rubik, which is nice. If he is able to steal GA, or whatever for that matter, it's going to be pretty huge.
That is a big game-changing steal.
I'm surprised he hasn't stolen it yet. It's actually not that hard to steal if you're ready for it. Because your cast animation for Omni-Knight is really slow for everything, you know?
Yep, it's true. Especially with the Rubik Blink and the lens makes it even easier for him to get that perfect steal. And that's a good point. It's there's not a whole lot Omni can do to prevent the steal. You know?
Yeah,
you
and
just
like
have to hope that you press your abilities fast enough before the enemy team reacts, but that's not exactly the most reliable thing.
And if you get GA, you don't take any damage. Where's their magical damage coming from? It's nothing. It's purification. That's literally it. And like shadow poison. But whatever, who cares?
Exactly. It's completely non-existent. They do have the demonic purge, so they can focus one target, but that's it.
Yeah, if I'm the captain of this team or whoever, I'm telling the Rubik, you literally just need to steal Omni's ulti. That's all you need to do. Forget about, you know, the amplified damage. It's a nice steal to have. Speaking of amplified damage, they're going to take Roche with it, and boy, do they do it quickly. I don't even think they're going to be able to get there in time to contest. That is a pretty good ability. Roche is down, Aegis and Cheese picked up, and they're going to probably take a fight anyway. The call comes out just onto the Shadow Demon. He survives for a moment.
He's got GA.
There it is, and now they might be able to turn this fight around. They're going to call a Cole 1, but Fearless is dead because he gets slowed by the Scotty that was just picking up the Terrorblade. That could be game losing. They're going to find a second kill, maybe even a third. Boombell will die. He's trying to blink. Maybe if he can fall. Yeah, he should be fine, actually. My pro survived somehow. I guess they didn't have detection for the Shadow Blade. They did kill 2, but it's only supports, and the Aegis and the Cheese have been picked up by the Terrorblade, so it just, they needed to be there a few seconds earlier in order to contest Roshan. Didn't happen.
It just dies way too fast with the amplified damage and focus fire and Terrorblade damage too. It's the Terrorblade show. I mean, he's set up to just sit there and be that siege engine.
Can you meta on Morphling?
Yeah, but it turns off as soon as you switch.
Still, though, I mean, you could turn into the Terrorblade. I don't know.
It's one of those that sounds a lot better than it
all right, okay. If you say that, then I'll believe you. Part of me just wants to see it happen, but I trust you enough to know that you know when something's not that great. So.
It looks real weird, but the nice part is the illusions to improve your farm speed.
Yes, that's what he was using for the last few minutes, just farming up and getting the jungle cleared out as quickly as possible. He will have a Scotty or Manta style. He was going Scotty. He's going to go Manta instead. I don't know. This Terrorblade is a real big problem. BKB, Scotty, Manta, almost a MKB. Oh boy.
Big call.
This is kind of an interesting fight. Blizzard. Well, all right, not anymore.
Oh boy, that's that.
Ethereal Blade comes out. They do get the kill on Negi. Good call. He does have Aegis and Cheese, mind you. He doesn't have meta though. Maelstrom is owning Fearless. Swifty needs to be a little careful. There's the Disruption and the Demonic Purge. Good call. But they've killed the Morphling. He's forced to buy back. Oh, Swifty's just owning. He just sits on the back lines and he just planks people down. There's nothing they can do about it. That's both cores killed and only the Aegis, not even the Cheese, taken from Blizzard.
Yep, and yes, Sunder up again in 5, so...
Dogbrain could have a Manta if you could get to the Secret Shop, but Meta's back up in 16. I know they don't have their Negi Omni Knight, but I think they could have. They're a little low. They need to go Shrine. I think that's exactly what they're going to go do.
How do they fight this? Like, that was a beautiful axe call with the Blade Mail, but...
It's fine if he doesn't have Aegis or like a BKB or anything. Like, I think if they could get the kill, they could actually chase after Swifty and stop him from just getting a million damage on everybody. They just need to not give them Aegis and Cheese. But...
Well, they can't turn back time, right? So
yeah.
They have to deal with that for now. The problem is there's just so many ways for Signify to take fights, right? If you don't burst as terribly, he's always going to get that Sunder off, and then there are tools to save him, right? You have the Disruption from Shadow Demon, so when he comes out, he can just pop his BKB.
I mean, they did a pretty good job using... Like, if you can kill Negi and he pops the BKB, you're not... You shouldn't... Well, you can't disrupt him when your own teammate when he's BKB'd, I'm assuming. I would imagine. So, yeah, he can't save him. So that's actually kind of huge that they killed Negi before he could get off any of his real big abilities. But again, it comes down to them, you know, it's having that extra life is pretty rough, trying to deal with that. The game is not over. I know it's a 5K lead, and they did keep the racks alive, which is really important. They just have to find a way to initiate, get an advantage. They have picked up the Manta style for Dogbrain. MKB, though, for the Terrorblade. He is like, if they can find him and Swifty, they win the game. And they almost will find Swifty. He is Invis. Is he even Invis rune? No. I'm surprised.
It's just a win run.
Yeah, it was just a win run, invisibility. They are running bottom for Signify. No chance he's going to try to lead the way. He has Blink Yules. Scan from the Radiant. They're going to see MyPro here in a moment if he's not careful. They need to back up like immediately. This is a very dangerous spot for MyPro. Does he have buyback? He does. Okay, if he dies, it's not the end of the world. Anybody else dies, the gem is on Lion Axe. He should not be here. He's going to back up. Okay.
Yep, Alfred have to be so careful with no buyback on the Morphling and Gyrocopter. The game could just end it. Playing against the Terrorblade with Disruption illusions, your base is going to die so fast.
Yeah. If they lose, I think even one of the cores, they might just lose the game. Because, of course, none of them have buyback. The Gyro BKB down to 6 seconds, so he's starting to lose some extra tankability in these fights. You know, the Morphling's still doing a lot of damage. He just picked up level 25, so he has the waveform charges, which is nice to actually secure some of the kills that they missed out on earlier into the game. It comes down to the call and taking care of Negi so they can actually kill Blizzard. Otherwise, he gets off the Cheese or the Sunder. And then the fight just turns in their way. And this is the go time, even without Aegis. It's time to just go for buildings, I think, if you're Signify.
Yep, just sit there behind your Terrorblade, let him hit those buildings with the illusions, and watch the enemy be completely helpless with these Disruption illusions coming in.
You need to, like, smoke behind them, but they can't because they're just going to lose base. Like, the base is already gone, actually.
Yep, it's completely dead.
Lift, but Lotus Orb lifts, so he can't pull him back. The Disruption save is there. MyPro trying to find initiation. He does, but again, there's GA and Repel. The Mystic Flare did nothing because he got pretty much an instant Repel. MyPro is going to get Scotty down to death. He's forced to buy back. Boombell's going to be dead as well. He has his own buyback. They'll both use it. And they just do that same thing. If he gets called, if he gets Mystic Flare, they just repel him, and he's fine. So we'll see if they can try to take a fight here. But if MyPro goes in right now, he might just die. They repel, but they already got off. Oh, they're going to go for it, but there's the Yules. They're not going to have enough damage. He pops the Cheese. And that probably is the end of the fight and maybe the end of the game. MyPro will die. They've already lost the Rubik again. Blizzard still has Sunder.
He's in deep.
He is in a little deep. He's going to Sunder Swifty, who actually might die because of that. Good Disruption save, but Does he have Blink? He does. He actually has the Wind Run invisibility, and he's alive somehow. Fearless is going to get run down by Blizzard, and he mantas, and that purification and damage from Blizzard is actually going to kill Dogray? No. He was able to stay alive somehow, and they at least get the 2 cores, and they keep their base alive with just the Morphling essentially doing all the work, but still a lot taken by the Radiant there.
Man, yep. Take out the bottom racks. Mid tower's pretty low too, but I don't know. That was not the worst fight for Alpha Red, honestly. Morphling 4,000 gold on him. I feel like Gyro's next item's not going to really do anything at all.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about the Morphling versus the Terrorblade, and Terrorblade has disruption on his side to make even more illusions. So
yeah,
not a fair fight.
It's just you have so much burst damage, but as soon as you blink call, he's either going to get repelled, disrupted, or forced away. So they have no way of starting a fight if the Terrorblade decides to just push. They need something else. I don't know what it is. And Rapier won't do anything if he does buy it. He's trying to get a Lincoln Sphere to survive a little bit longer. Now Swifty has BKB. Again, he's been a little paper thin in some of these fights, but now he's got a lot of HP, 2,000, and I think we'll just wait for next Roche. And if you wait for next Roche, you'll have Aegis Cheese Refresher Shard for Blizzard, and he could just pop double meta at some point, like you just use meta back-to-back if he needs to. So now is the time, if you are the Dire, to position yourselves actively around Roche. The unfortunate thing is, it is up in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. If it was up now, they might have been able to take it somehow, but that's not going to be the case.
Yep. Well, I just wanted to point out that Omninet is closing in on his Aghanim Scepter. So now he can just sit back and Rubik won't ever be able to steal it because he can sit outside of the fight. And there's still nothing they can really do against it. No ways to purge off the GA.
Yep. 10-second duration. All you really need to do is just walk up base and pop GA and just let your Terrorblade do the work, or just use it to, you know, stop a fight going the way of Alpha Red. So I don't know how Alpha Red are supposed to do anything in this game, especially try to contest this Roche. I'm not sure that there is any way. And this Terrorblade has really done some work, of course. Just good all-around play from Signify. The whole team has done a lot of stuff in this game. Well, it feels like they're just slowly dying for Alpha Red. It's just a slow death.
It does feel like a slow death, and that is typically what happens when you're playing against Shadow Demon Illusion Siege. But there's the blink call.
Good call.
Catch out the SD.
He has Disruption. Can't get it off as the Ancient Seal comes out. That Shackle Shot somehow latched, but they're not going to have any follow-up. Terrorblade has rotated over. So there's no Shadow Blade for 70. The unfortunate thing, again, is that Roche is still dead for another minute. He would have probably bought back if they knew Roche was up anyway.
Yep, definitely. Can't afford to give Roshan away at this stage of the game for either team. It's so important for being able to actually either finish the game or delay the game long enough to get some farm. Like, you know, maybe a Rapier is a game-changing item on Gyro.
Maybe.
It's a weird thing to say, that a Rapier doesn't feel game-changing, but there's the Guardian Angel that you have to deal with all the time.
Like, it's such a long duration now that I don't know how game-changing... Oh... Okay. Okay. All right. That's a big pick. Can they get out now, or are they going to turn? Oh, what a crush.
Buyback from the Wind Ranger.
They're going to try to take this fight, and I think they've already pretty much killed my pro. Shackle shotted. The Rubik and the Morphling are killing Mr. Krau, so that's a dieback, but they lost the axe. They need to run. Another two-man crush. Fearless is dead. He's taking so much damage. Now Linux is as well. And good effort, but they're going to lose this fight. They're going to lose 4 and maybe 5 if they can catch Dog Brain. They had to do that, and it was a nice play, but...
Well, the Shackle onto Dog Brain, he's dead.
It's all 5 dead. He'll have to buy back now.
Boy.
There's only one more buyback to Saskareth. He will use it. It's a 3 versus 4. They could just push high ground now. Do they have GA? They did use GA. They got us just back up to Roche, and then the game just ends, I think. I mean, obviously, they'll have to push high ground and stuff, but still. I don't know if there's any way they can actually fight into Aegis Cheese Refresher Shard. It seems pretty impossible.
Right, especially once they've already used their buybacks like that. I don't know, man.
Is dead. Good effort trying to get there. No, not enough hustle, though. Invis rune picked up for Negi, so he has that. They're going to back up to the base. Time to push. Do they have... They don't have meta for 78. They'll probably wait for that. They would like to push while the respawns are still down, but it's probably not going to happen. Maybe they'll get a little tower damage done. No backdoor protection. They have some creeps close enough. Swifty focus fire is probably unnecessarily on the tier 3 tower. But it's back up in like 10 seconds anyway. And they could just back up and wait for the next meta. Go Shrine or something.
Yep. It's such a safe siege with the meta too, since Terralite has the 300 Metamorphosis attack range talent. He can just sit there from the low ground, throw an illusion in for vision, just wail on the tower and force them to jump away out.
Yeah. I think you and I are both at this point where we're like, I don't think Alpha Red can win, but the game's going to go on for another 10 minutes anyway.
Yep, exactly.
So there's not really anything for us to say. I mean, what changes in the next 10 minutes that allows Alpha Red to win? And I have to honestly answer you, nothing. Literally nothing changes this game. I'm pretty sure.
I just can't see them like winning this game because it's so easy for Signify to play this team fight. You know, Omniknight has a 10-second repel. With Ag's Guardian Angel, he just sits in the back and...
Omni has to disconnect or literally hit the wrong buttons in this next fight in order for them to do anything. And even if he does that, I still think that this Shadow Demon Disruption will keep Blizzard alive anyways. Plus, he is, you know, Sunder and Refresher Shard, so... That's the state of the game, folks. Dogbrain will come out and use Reflection. Not that it does anything. They'll get the Tier 3 tower. So now there's only the Tier 4s left here for Alpha Red. Blizzard is a little low on mana, which is going to make it hard to use his next Sunder. Well, not Sunder, next meta when he uses the Refresher Shard. They should give him some mana if they have any way to give it to him, but they don't, except for Arcanes.
It's an interesting steal, the Disruption. It actually, these illusions are strong.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all.
It's pushing them back. This Metamorphosis is surprisingly not done that much. I thought they would get a lot more done with it, but now they have to back up. And the game continues.
That's right.
Terralite is 7,600 gold. You just buy bots or something. Maybe he already has a Moonstrike. He doesn't even need that. He's like 6-slotted. What do you buy? Butterfly? Maybe?
Sorry, for who?
Terralite. He has 7,600 gold. All right, he's just buying a Refresher.
A Refresher. Oh,
fine.
okay.
That's one way to end the game. Have 3 different Metamorphoses, one after the other. Well, I don't know. The Axe Scarith Mage, I like the opening, but they have found a very good way to deal with it. Like, the Axe can't find a way to initiate. He can only really go on to, like, a hero that's going to get repelled or disrupted. I think the key is having 2 different saves instead of just the one. If you have just Disruption, you find the Shadow Demon and you kill him, and then you just kill everybody else. But you have GA, you know, Repel and Disruption. It's so hard to find, like, all 3 of those heroes, or all both of those heroes, rather.
Yep, they have to find so many key heroes hiding in the back, man. It's just, it's so difficult.
Signify, they look really good in this game. I know they held on for a pretty long time in the first game, but that game felt pretty over, you know, at a certain point earlier on into the game. This game, yeah, it feels the exact same way, but it's going the different direction now. It's obviously going for Signify this time.
Jesus, the Disruption illusions almost kill the Shadow Demon.
He is paper thin.
Ouch.
All right, here we go. They still have Aegis on Swifty, but only for 50 seconds, so they want to get something done with it. He could just go up high ground, I think. I'm kind of surprised he's actually not going more aggressively. BKB for the Axe. They'll try to find Blizzard, who takes little to no damage, if any. They're going to Glimmer him and Lotus Orb him, and now Mypro might be the one that dies. Dogbrain trying to man-fight. It's 2 Terrorblades, but now they're going to find Dogbrain. He's going to have to Manta and wait for himself to safety. He does do so.
Rubik got the GA, at least.
Yeah, that's good, but they've already lost the Scarith Mage. The Glyph is forced to go. No chance popped his own BKB. Now that's gone. Mypro looking for another call here. He's almost going to find it. He does. The Repel is still there, and they have found a crush onto Boombell. Rubik's in trouble. Fearless pops the BKB with Flat Cannon, of course not doing that much damage. There's no GA, I don't believe, for the Radiant team, but it doesn't matter anyways. They're still overrunning the rest of Alpha Red. They're going to take another set of racks. They have another Metamorphosis if they want to use it. He will. He'll use the Refresher Shard, pop the bots right into his inventory, and try to go for Megas. there's the Aegis onto Swifty. He needs to be a little careful. They should get Megas here. Blizzard just pops the BKB for it. The call comes out, but he's still full HP. He does have a Sunder. He needs to use it. And if he does, Fearless is a little too far up, which means he might die for it, and he will. No chance. Just jumps in on the back line. They do finally bring him down with the Morphling with the Ethereal Blade, but the damage has already been done. Negi will fall as well, looks like, but even if he does, it's not the end of the world. He also has buyback at this point of the game. And the game will continue for another 5 minutes, probably.
That's a lot of gold. 2,000 gold for killing the Terrorblade there? That's insane. Look at Morph's gold. He's got a whole new item now.
Yeah, but what item does he buy?
He needs to buy a base, but unfortunately you can't.
That would actually be interesting if you could buy buildings.
Cool, huh?
That's the new. We're gonna make a new Dota game, and that's what it's just. There's gonna be a. It's like Fortnite. You're able to build your own cover.
Yep, Dota the never-ending edition.
That would be awful, actually, because you always just if you pick up a stalling team, you just always have enough money to buy more base. But then you can't ever win, right? Yeah, okay, that sounds miserable on second thought. Let's not do that.
It does. It sounds awful. What a terrible idea.
So, sorry, folks. My pro's dead. I think this is no buyback. Correct. It is not a buyback available. And the good news is they still don't have Negi and Terrorblade for 30. So Megas are also tricky to deal with. With Flat Cannon, they should be fine for a while. But this just goes to show, I think... I'm trying to think what hero should have been banned this game, and I'm thinking Omni Knight, just because it's so dumb.
Yeah, Omni Knight with the Terrorblade is a ridiculous combo. They both have ways to just stay alive. Like, there's no bursting Terrorblade, and if you can't burst TV, he does a stupid amount of damage, and of course, Sunder makes things even worse.
Yes.
Oh boy, but Mega Creeps, they're rolling in, Mont. This is when it gets real difficult for Alpha Red. None of their heroes clear Mega Creeps very well besides the Gyrocopter.
And at least for the most part, they've been able to kind of get out of their base in the past, like, 10 minutes. That's not going to happen anymore. I don't know how they actually get out of their base now. I don't think they can. And Signify are just going to stay in and try to find a fight now with no chance with the Blink. The Tier 4 almost falling, and it probably will in a moment if they just keep the illusions on it. Disruption, Reflection. That was the aggressive Reflection from Dogbrain, actually. It does clear out the illusions, but... The meta has gone for Blizzard. Does he have his Refresher Orb yet? Not quite. He just needs the recipe, but of course he might not have buyback if he gets it. And here he goes on the Ancient, and Alpha Red will try their damnedest. They use the GA. Fearless will have to run. He's got his BKB. Good crushing, no chance. Secures them 2 quick kills. Both supports dead. Fearless in the base. They're getting overrun. The game is about to end, and that should just about do it.
Yep. Alright, so the second game comes to a close after 56 minutes, almost identical.